This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and Tim Hankewich from Orchestra Iowa
Hello.
Joins us again today, as he does fairly regularly throughout the concert season, to talk about...
Off camera, I have a bed just right over there. That's right. I live here.
There's just a bunkhouse.
That's right.
We just all bunk in the back. We play poker after hours.
That's right. It's quite sad, but true. Yeah.
The concert is Russian Fairy Tales.
Yes, this is a big deal for Orchestra Iowa and me personally. There comes a time in one's career when you get to pull rank as a music director and do some of the music that you've always wanted to do.
Well, as many of our listeners know and viewers, it's Tim's 10th is the theme of the season. So if you couldn't throw your weight around, and
if not now, when? Exactly right.
You're gonna have to wait another 15 to your 25 anniversary before they will let you do anything.
Exactly. So there are pieces out there that sort of are admired throughout the industry, sometimes admired from afar, because it's not very often you get to perform these works. And I'm very lucky because I've got the best job in the world, in which I get to perform the greatest music art form that civilization has come up with to date. And three of the great works of the 20th century that changed the landscape of music forever in one of the most significant ways were three ballets written by Stravinsky. The Rite of Spring, which we did 2 years ago, and the other two is Petrushka, which is a fairy tale, and the Firebird, which is another Russian fairy tale. These two works completely revolutionized the course of music, because that was at a time when jazz was starting to come to the fore. It revolutionized the way orchestras play. Today, they are still considered amongst the most difficult works in the repertoire. Musicians salivate when they get a chance to, with the prospect of playing these works, but to actually be able to do it in performance as they were originally intended as ballets, I mean, it doesn't get any better for this. And so it's a really personal moment for me, and I'm so excited that we'll be able to do it this weekend.
And we have the ballet working with us.
In fact, 5 years ago, when
we mentioned there are ballets, and there will be a ballet.
There are more ballets than just the Nutcracker. And as popular as the Nutcracker is, these three ballets are the most significant works ever written for ballet. And when we announced our partnership with Ballet Quad Cities, my goodness, 5 years ago, it was with this project in mind to do what they're called the Stravinsky Triptych, the big three Stravinsky ballets. And now it comes to fruition this weekend. What I find interesting as a musician, and in your listening audience, there are many who have heard the music of the Firebird, certainly within the Fantasia movies. What exists today on the concert stage is a suite where the composer took the best parts of that ballet and distilled it down to a shorter version. The stuff he left on the cutting room floor, there's still about 20-25 minutes of that music, and it is magnificent. And I had never heard it before until I thought about this project 3 years ago. There's some amazing music from this piece that everyone thinks they know. So to actually do the full ballet as the Firebird, as Stravinsky originally intended, and then Petrushka, which, oh my God, just from an orchestral standpoint, really flexes the muscles of your orchestra. And part of my job is actually to build the skills of our orchestra, to improve them. And it's repertoire like this that really gets their creative juices going.
Makes everybody step up and play a little harder.
Absolutely. And Petrushka is a Russian fairy tale that's similar to Pinocchio, but should never be confused with Pinocchio.
It's not Pinocchio.
It's not Pinocchio.
But it is the story of a puppet come to life.
Exactly right. It's a morality play, because really what happens in this story is that these puppets come to life and they discover the most powerful emotions, love, and then on the flip side of that, jealousy. And so it's interesting where puppets are these, you would think, are these two-dimensional characters feeling all this emotion, and then the so-called 3D real-life people who are impassively or passively overlooking this drama unfold, they're the ones with the two-dimensional emotions. So it's an interesting sort of flip of what goes on artistically. And so at the end of the production, you're going to say, so really, who were the real people? Were it the puppets, or were it the people? Oh. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. And then, of course, the Firebird. A story of a prince meeting a princess who has been captured by an evil figure, and it's a kind of a very stereotypical fairy tale. But the music, oh my God, I just can't wait.
Talking with Tim Hankewich from Orchestra Iowa about Russian fairy tales, two Huge Stravinsky pieces. Yeah.
Huge. And as a matter of fact, my orchestra has their work cut out for them. We put this. These are two of the hardest pieces in the repertoire, and we're putting it together on 3 rehearsals. That's just how good these guys are.
In association with Ballet Quad Cities, and so you'll be in the pit, or will you be on stage?
We'll be in the pit.
Okay.
So we have 2 performances, one on Saturday night at 7:30, and then a Sunday matinee at 2:30. And that, too, is a challenge. One of the great redesigns of the Paramount Theater was an expanded pit to allow us to do this kind of work.
But it's still a
cramped.
tight fit for an entire orchestra.
Fitting 63 players into that pit is going to be very close.
So this Saturday and Sunday at the Paramount.
Yes.
And then next week in Davenport?
Absolutely. As part of this partnership, we do a run here, and this music is too great just to do it once. And so we'll go to Davenport next weekend at the Adler Theater, and we perform it twice in the same day, matinee and evening performance. Yeah. It's hard for the musicians, but I can't imagine the dancers. That's a lot of physical activity, but that's all right.
And is this new do you know? Is it new choreography?
It's new choreography. You're right. Actually, for some people who aren't maybe familiar with the art of ballet, there's 2 ways that you approach these pieces. A lot of these pieces have a historical repertoire or a repertory or historical choreography, and there are productions out there that reproduce the original choreography. And then the other way is just to use it as a living, breathing work of art and put your own choreography to it. And this is what Ballet Quad Cities has done with their approach.
So new choreography.
New choreography.
And parts of these pieces of music that you probably have never heard before.
Oh, I tell you, I'm just so excited about the Firebird, knowing that there's more music out there that I had never discovered before. And you know what? It must have been hard for Stravinsky to make this the suite that we're all familiar with today, because the stuff he left on the cutting room floor is just magnificent.
Remember when you were a kid in the old days? Of course, you're in the old days of AM radio and the single edits of your favorite favorite song.
Yeah.
And then one day, you went out and bought the album, and you discovered that the 3-minute and 40-second version of the song that you really loved was actually 6 minutes long.
Think of this as the version of "Love to Love You, Baby," the extended version. That is exactly what it is.
Okay, boy, there's a
leap.
There's a mental image I'm never going to get rid of now. Tim Hankewich and "Love to Love You, Baby." That's what I want to see for Tim's 20th.
Oh, okay, you're on.
Tim Hankewich from Orchestra Iowa. So it's this weekend.
This weekend at 7:30 on Saturday.
Tickets still available. If for some reason our Cedar Rapids and Iowa City audience, though, can't make it this weekend, it's a short drive to the Quad Cities. I make it all the time because my kid goes to college there, and the Adler is a wonderful place to see music.
It's a magnificent, I love the architecture of that, too. It's sort of more Art Deco-y than the Paramount, but it is a fantastic facility.
Yeah, it's a great room. If people want tickets, they can go to your website, which is
orchestraiowa.org, or you can call at 1-800-369-TUNE, TUNE.
Tim Hankewich has his work cut out for him in the orchestra this weekend.
Yay.
Good luck with it.
Oh, thank you.